Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Tata. What'd you say? Tata.
Where'd you get arrested?
What? Where'd you hear that?
From Ishmael.
Who?
Ishmael from the second floor.
Now wipe them tears.
Oh, these ain't tears, Mama. These is eye boogers.
Oh, then blow your eyes.
I almost got an A on my test.
You what?
My son almost got an A on his test. What'd you get?
A D.
Hey, when are you gonna get some kind of love life?
I got a love life. Yo, this is girl at school, right? You know, and I be calling her, she be calling me.
Stop lying.
Okay. It's a tough business. And it's tough, and you have to be resilient.
Comedy, drama, and all the rumors when it comes to George O. Gore. That's the package. From cracking us up as Junior in My Wife and Kids.
My name is Junior, but I'm a senior. Well, I got 2 more years. I got my father ears.
To laying it down as G in New York Undercover.
Where did you get $50 from?
Mr. Watson III. Trey took me and Mommy to Aqueduct Racetrack last night.
Oh, you did, huh?
George is Hollywood's low-key icon. Born out in Fort Washington, Maryland, back in '82.
Born in North Carolina, grew up in Maryland. I now live in Los Angeles.
George was straight up destined to stand out. This kid wasn't just another face in the crowd. Nah. He was out here hosting Christmas parties in preschool. Yeah, you heard me right, preschool. Already grabbing the mic. Dude was such a natural. He had a talent manager locked in by the time he was 4.
I'm 4 years old at this point, and I have a solo interview with a grown-up. And apparently I was impressive enough, and that got me started in my career.
And just like that, he landed his first big role, playing Brian in Juice back in '92.
If Bishop calls up, he comes by. Tell him I ain't here.
Why, don't you like Bishop anymore?
Why you ask so many questions, man?
'Cause I like Bishop.
All at 9 years old. 2 years later, our guy made his TV debut, and Hollywood was shook. He made it official. George was a prodigy, no doubt, playing Gregory G. Williams in New York Undercover.
Can't we just tell Trina we have to go?
I thought you wanted to try out for the team.
I do, but it's embarrassing getting beat by a girl that liked Trina.
He snatched hearts for 41 episodes over 4 years. But this was just the warm-up. Eddie,
Look, Eddie, they can't even get the ball. Come on, let me go to one place.
the devil's advocate,
Look, I'm not sure I'm making myself clear.
Oh, yes. You need him? Speak with him? Show him your boots.
Thugaboo,
Diane Johnson, that mixed girl.
Yep. Yo, I'm mixed. You ain't mixed. You confused.
dance flick,
Now wipe them tears.
Oh, these ain't tears, Mama. These is eye boogers.
Oh, then blow your eyes.
George was everywhere, staying in the mix and keeping it fresh. Then came the game changer, My Wife and Kids.
You need a brain transplant.
And you need a brain transmission. Bah!
2001 to 2005? Man, those were straight-up glory years for George O. Gore. He snagged the main role in My Wife and Kids on ABC. And let's be real, he had the whole show on lock.
Hey, when are you gonna get some kind of love life?
I got a love life. Yo, this is girl at school, right? You know, and I be calling her, she be calling me.
Stop lying.
Okay.
Playing Michael Jr., that rap-loving, smart-mouthed character, he had folks glued to their TVs, laughing nonstop. Not to mention his comedic timing was unmatched.
I don't care about wrestling or roly-poly-oly. I want to watch videos.
Why? I've seen Britney Spears, and those aren't real either.
For real, though, the show wouldn't have popped off the way it did without George. He was built for that role, no question. And he wasn't just making fans. The industry was taking notice, too, with 3 NAACP Image Award nods. This was also when O. Gore started exploring his versatility as a character behind the camera.
It was basically where I grew up. You know, I started doing the show when I was 17.
But he wasn't about to stay in just one lane. By 2004, George was ready to switch it up, trying his hand at directing. And when he got to direct the Outbreak episode...
Can I have $25 back, please?
Okay.
Crazy.
You knew he'd made it. But not everyone was feeling his shine. At just 22.
This is the first time I directed Yeah, I directed 2 episodes, yeah.
Calling shots on one of the biggest sitcoms around had some folks straight up jealous, throwing shade and criticism his way. Think about it. George had the talent, the charm, the jokes, but was he really ready to take on directing one of the biggest sitcoms on TV? I mean, sure, he got his chance, but from what I've heard, there was mad drama on set. George liked to keep things low-key, but rumor has it there were big arguments going down, and producers even talked about cutting him loose. And let's be real, My Wife and Kids was his first big comedy gig.
I almost got an A on my test.
You what?
My son almost got an A on his test. What'd you get?
A D.
Before that, he was all about those serious, dramatic roles.
Beat her little butt and she won't like you anymore. Come on, little man. Play her like Charles Oakley.
You want me to punch her?
So maybe the producers just had a different idea of where they wanted to take the show, you know? And honestly, George was getting tired of playing the same character. Dude felt like they were holding him back, always pushing the comedy and never letting him dig deeper with the role.
You know, it's the business of rejection. You hear no 100 times more than you hear yes.
He was frustrated, and that just made things messier with the producers. And frankly speaking, it's kind of the reason why he just disappeared from the spotlight. Thugaboo.
A head that big, everybody can read your mind.
Yo, enough with the head jokes, alright?
All right, I'll quit while I'm ahead.
Dance flick.
But you remember, you're blind. How stupid.
Okay, Mama.
Second generation Wayans.
Quit a job and won't return my phone calls.
And a Boo Crew Christmas.
I can't wait to see Santa face to face.
You don't need to see him face to face, because with your big mouth, he can hear you all the way in the North Pole.
That's all George had on his plate after My Wife and Kids. And I ain't trying to hate, but let's keep it real. None of those were exactly bangers. That's when his Hollywood story started slipping. Critics came for him hard, calling his style old news, saying he didn't have the grit or fresh ideas to keep up with the way TV was changing. But honestly, I don't even buy that. My Wife and Kids was part of the problem. They never let him branch out, always boxing him into the same role.
It's a tough business. And it's tough, and you have to be resilient.
Makes sense that he'd end up taking on some random projects after that, right? Dude was just trying to find his lane again. And yeah, maybe TV needed more than that sitcom vibe he was used to, but that whole transition was rough on him. He went from being the guy everyone knew to, well, kind of forgotten. So, yeah, there's that. Oh, and remember when cute little Junior started dating Vanessa?
Sorry we're late, guys. Vanessa wanted to stop and see if we could locate the star I had named after her.
Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? Brooklyn Sudano. Yeah, the stunning actress who played Vanessa. Her and George's chemistry was straight fire.
Wouldn't want you to bruise those perfect little knees.
Oh, thank you, Choo-Choo. You're welcome, Choo-Choo.
A real match made in heaven. And let's be real, who doesn't love it when an on-screen couple's vibe spills over into real life? That's exactly what happened with these two lovebirds. They hit it off, and fans lost it, obsessing over every little thing about their relationship. But just like most things in George's career, it didn't last. Honestly, this might have been his one big heartbreak. Dude hasn't been with anyone since, at least not that we know of. But hey, that's just what the headlines say. Now, the word on the street is Sudano didn't have his back when things got heated between him and the producers. It was like a war zone on set, and anybody who sided with George was facing serious backlash, Brooklyn included. Once the show wrapped up, she saw the writing on the wall and dipped, didn't want to get caught up in his mess. I know what y'all are thinking. Nah, that can't be why they split up. But just look at their careers. Brooklyn kept rising, doing big things on and off screen, while George kind of faded. No shade, but you see the difference. Or maybe, just maybe, George had issues with the ladies? I mean, people have talked about how he and his on-screen mom, Tisha Campbell,
Going upstairs.
Junior,
baby.
What is it?
Junior's saying something really strange.
We're butting heads on set. Makes you wonder, right? I'm not going to lie. It's kind of frustrating how George is so low-key.
I'm not the best at being recognized when I go out. You know, I'm thankful for it. I'm a quiet guy. I like just being behind the scenes.
For an actor with such a mysterious career, we want those juicy details, especially when you hear the whispers about his crazy encounters and spats with Tisha Campbell. Tisha Campbell and George Gore, too, didn't always have that perfect fam energy on the set of My Wife and Kids.
Vanessa and I just got carried away. You gotta forgive me. I didn't mean to.
What? Get caught?
Tisha was already a big deal, came up from Martin and House Party, so she had experience for days. And when she felt like George's timing or delivery wasn't hitting right, she'd call him out right there in the middle of a scene. She wasn't shy about it either. Folks say she'd practically coach him on the spot. Now, George was younger, but he had his own vibe and didn't just sit back. But George was a clever boy and made sure to give back exactly what he got, calling Campbell's methods old and boring. Of course, there was no public fallout, and rightly so, because that wouldn't have been good for his acting career. Not like it would have made a difference, though, but I'm sure George couldn't care less. There's a reason why Gore looks so cool every time we see him on the screen.
You know how many steps it takes to get to the school, right?
Yes, Mama. Also remember how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop.
Let's take your stupid blind on.
I mean, I sure as heck would look super fly if I had $2 million stashed away in the bank. He made most of that money from My Wife and Kids. It's believed that he was grossly underpaid. His co-stars were practically minting money while George was clearly getting ripped off, not being paid his fair share. And I'm talking about impact here. I know Hollywood is often brutal to young celebrities, but come on now, he pretty much carried the show for a good couple of seasons. At the same time, it kind of sucks how he has nothing going on right now since he was such a vibe growing up. But yeah, I don't know about you, but I'd definitely pay to see him star in a movie again. Guaranteed stomach aches from laughing.